going to be launching a tasty pastry. It's a low-carb Pop-Tart. It's got 3 to 4 grams of net carbs, and we love this show. This is our best place to be in LA.
Welcome back to Legendary Foods Muscle in the Morning. I'm Dave Palumbo, and today is Wednesday, August 24th, 2022. And let's find out what's going on in the world of bodybuilding and fitness. Once again, Recap Wednesday is back and better than ever, and we only had one show on the schedule for the last weekend. But if you're a bikini fan, you still had a lot to be excited about because the Nashville Fit Pro was as good as advertised. Returning to the winner's circle here for the first time this year, we had one of last season's breakout stars, Vinaya Augusti, look as good as we've ever seen her as she cruised to an easy win. The runner-up spot went to a name that we said a lot of times over the last month or so, Amy Velasquez, who continues to impress with what she's done so far this year. Jody Yunker brought home the third place trophy, which gives her back-to-back top 3 finishes for the first time in her career. Fourth place went to Eureka Shigemoto, who's placed in the top 5 or better the last 2 weekends. And rounding out this rock-solid top 5 group, we have Jordan Brannon, who might be the most impressive rookie that we've seen from this year's bikini class. If you're a fan of the figure division, this one isn't going to make you happy, because last weekend officials from the Arnold Sports Festival announced that they were excluding figure from the 2023 Arnold Classic. At the time of this recording, the communications team from the Arnold hasn't released any sort of official statement explaining the reason for the decision, nor have they given any indications that they will at any point in the near future. But if you're a fan of figure or even just bodybuilding in general, you can't help but be somewhat disappointed because now figure is on the terminal list alongside women's bodybuilding, women's physique, and 212 bodybuilding, a major division that won't have an opportunity to showcase some of its talent on the industry's biggest stages. What this means for the rest of the division moving forward still remains to be seen. But at least for the moment, it looks like figure fans might be in store for a long winter. If you're a wellness fan, you can't help but be impressed by how much new talent we've seen come into the fold already this season. Case in point, take a look at the Texas Pro 2 weeks ago, where we saw this year's USA champ, Amanda Burnett, go out and make a huge statement with a top 3 finish in her pro debut. This week, we had a chance to talk to our sources inside Amanda's camp, who told us that they're targeting the heart of Texas Pro in 2 weeks as the next stop in their 2022 campaign, where they believe she has a legitimate chance to bring home the win and lock up an Olympia qualification. If you go back and look at the comparison photos of the top 3 from the Texas Pro, the judges were basically splitting hairs there because all 3 of them were so good, it was honestly could have gone either way in any direction. So if she comes in even a few percentage points better in 2 weeks, that might be all she wrote, because she could easily end up running away with that one when it's all said and done. Before we sign off today, we're bringing you a little bit of midweek motivation courtesy of Ariel, Khadr, and Martin Fitzwater. Recently, the reigning and defending Fitness International champ linked up with the emerging second-year star for what looked to be a no-holds-barred back training session that didn't even pull any punches. Even though we don't typically see fitness athletes training with open bodybuilders, based on the few clips we managed to get our hands on, Ariel definitely looked like she held her own, which is no small feat when you're training with someone like Martin, who comes from that old school Branch Warren style training that basically demands that you lay it all out on the table every set, or else you shouldn't even bother showing up. But as we've said over and over again here, you are the average of the 5 people you surround yourself with most. And in this game, when you surround yourself with people who know how to bring the best out of you, it always ends up being a net positive in the end. And that does it for yet another edition of Muscle in the Morning. I'm Dave Palumbo, reminding you to always be true to your passions, and make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.